Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This time we are going to start a new series of podcasts based on precasting. So today we have our first episode based on precast information. We are always keep on admiring and creating a lot of information about precast. So we have started a series where we will be having in every new episode a guest from industry who will be sharing his experience, his knowledge, and he can tell us about how he see the future of precast industry in coming times. I'm Sandeep Sharma from Stru Engineers. We are a company from Sweden. We mainly provide knowledge and consulting services on precast projects. We have our expertise in providing structural design services, BIM services, and precast consulting if somebody is interested to set up a precast plant. So today we have a very renowned guest. He is director with demonstrated history of working in the design industry, strong business development, professional skills in retail experience design, design research, building energy analysis, design thinking, green building, and very passionate tennis player. So we have our guest, Mr. Anand Sabu, who is heading a company called Sahyog Designway from Ahmedabad, and he is from architect background. He has done his higher education from National Institute of Design in the field of strategic design management. Why today we chose Mr. Anand as a first guest of our this series? Because when we start any project, we always assume an architect to be the key person and the first stakeholder in any project. He decide what kind of project it is going to be. He decide what kind of technology will be better for any kind of project. So Mr. Anand, he is having very good experience in conventional design as well as in precast. He has designed lot of project, multi-story to villas, industrial building to infrastructure in India and overseas. So, Mr. Anand, I would like to thank you for joining us for the first episode with my warm regards. So now we can start our uh, question and answers session. And before we start, Mr. Anand, I would request you to give a brief about yourself because I know that you did your graduation from finance and now you are into architect. So how you come into this architect phase and what is your area of interest other than the architects?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Sandeep, for inviting. Thanks for such a detailed and precise introduction of me. Just to add to few things about Sahyog, we are a design company which looks into much more energy responsive or resource responsive building designs. That's one of our divisions. Of course, we have various verticals in retail, wayfinding, and energy simulations, which is there. But our focus is more into a sustainable growth, which we look forward and take forward Sahyog in creating a sustainable growth all across world. That's the brief motto of Sahyog Design Way. I myself have done architecture from MS University Baroda and done my masters from National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad. And at this point of time, we are all at a urge or a crossroads where this industry takes us from here. And that's where I look at this podcast, an important thing, where we could able to share why we look at this vision of precast industry, where it's going and where it is going to take India and world forward. Yes, that's from my side. Yeah, Sandeep.
Anandji, before we proceed, like you are doing a lot of building projects, but you are
Yeah,
associated with infrastructure development projects also.
yes,
So I
yes.
just want to give a highlight or like all the other work what you are doing, if you can
Yeah.
elaborate.
So infrastructure, in a sense, one of the aspects of a complete setup of an infrastructure, in that you need to look at resources. You know, the water becomes one of the important resource in the area, the quality of air and quality of living. Whenever you look at any sort of development, you have to look at the holistic development. Okay, so you look at the aspects of lifestyle of a person, if it's a housing project, if it's if it's a commercial SEZ setup or else the industrial setup which is there, you need to approach it from a holistic viewpoint. What are the things, resources going to be used in that? So, and that's where you start looking at the planning level, the urban infrastructure level, which is required at that point of time. So industrial setup, there will be the requirement will be different. For educational institute, the requirement will be different. When you look at housing, so looking at all that requirement, you have to plan the infrastructure, and that infrastructure is where we also have started looking at, and that's where the huge amount of resources has to be managed. It's the land which is there, the environment which is there, the water which is there, the air quality which is there. All that resources has to be managed in the right way, and that's where we also expertised in this aspects of resource management. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Anand, like you have almost 2 decades of experience. If I start from the very first year in the industry,
Yeah.
and like today we are in 2021. So, how do you see the current scenario in this construction industry? Like, how do you find it kind of transition? Because if I see, or if I just say that around 2 decades back, we were just constructing using brick and mortar, and today we have a lot of technologies. So can you share your experience of how you find this transition, different things which made these kind of requirement to adopt technology or something else?
So, just to add, uh, as you have put forward the that in today's time, how the construction industry will be approaching. So, as a scenario for India at present, if I look at, if you can think, if you look at the numbers which are coming up, India's highest percentage of investment is going into infrastructure, transport, housing, roads. And that's where, if I can pin it down, it's 15% of India's GDP. That's the first time India is looking at this quantity of growth. So if we look at this, if we look at old technologies which are there, providing support to this, creating this infrastructure, we will be falling drastically short. I'm not saying you will be falling short, but you will falling drastically short to this number. And at this point of time, this is the time where this new talking technology will add up to pace up with the growth which we are looking at. That's really important, and that's why precast precast industry becomes really important to support this growth. It's basically this growth has to be achieved. One of the important pillar will be precast industry. You have to do it in a mass. You have to come up with the quality solution. That's where I look at how this precast industry will be a catalyst to the numbers which India is looking to. That's really important.
Yeah, if I just summarize, like your what you just said, like we are using a precast in infrastructure for in bridges, metros, highway from quite a long time. But now I think now our construction industry, particularly
Yep.
about buildings, is ready to adopt precast concrete technology for building sector as well. Like I started my career from precast itself, like around 12 year of experience I have completed in precast. So when I joined my first company, I was into precast equipment, and I have been very fortunate that I have associated with the good people from the industry. But if I just share my thing, at that point of time, people were not even aware about what is precast. And whenever we were approaching any new project, always an architect, he was not ready to implement in technology. Like maybe he was not having that kind of knowledge, that's why he just reject the technology. Or it could be a possibility that yes, that time after, like around 12 years back, where we were not having that kind of infrastructure or resources were not available. So as an architect, how do you see the like kind of resource availability or this precast friendly layouts? Because
Hmm.
what I have seen in so many things, that architect implement technology on cast institute designs, which is like drastic failure. I have seen some projects. So I could see some of your work that you have a very good experience in generating precast friendly layout where repetition is higher, and
Yeah.
also this modularity is there. So what is your experience about this, and how do you see your architect fraternity? Are they really looking for technology, or still this is the same scenario today also?
So I'll just have a brief introduction where brief a detailed explanation at this point of time. As I had also done, as the first graduation of ours was architecture, we understand space and everything. But when I went ahead in my masters as a post graduation, I had done into NID, where mass production, whenever you design a product, you look at how will that product be mass produced. Will it be a modular furniture? Will it be cars? In every product, you look at products. One, you not only design one product which is an art piece, you design products which will be scalable, which can be produced in 1 lakh, 2 lakh. So when you look at automobile as an industry, you don't look at I want to make one customized car. You look at cars which are mass produced. And then looking at that, there are few aspects of design which makes this understanding clear. So when I look at architecture as a background, and then this as one of the skill sets which I studied, and then we approach any design project which is there, we look at the core of it. Okay, we are looking at mass production and also looking at the experience of design, both combining together. And that's where our design, so our requirements, if they are looking at something which has to be mass produced, so certain aspects which needs to be taken care into the design, the experience which the customer or the user who is going to use it needs to have, they have to coincide. You have to look at all the parameters and then approach it during the design, the initial stage, which will make it possible faster at the later stage. So that sort of vision was brought to us during my post graduation, which was there. And then when we started our practice, we kept this in our mind when we look at retail as a format, which we do, when we look at housing, when we look at other things. So there is also a reputation which is there, but also at look at certain aspects of customization for everyone. That becomes the uniqueness which we can bring, and then the user can also relate to it. And at some point of time, I do feel the uniqueness which architects would always think, they would have always thought that precast buildings cannot bring uniqueness, but then they can also bring uniqueness to individual, not at a larger scale, but at the individual scale. It can bring uniqueness to all the designs which they give. But then there is always a detailed understanding. If I look at precast plants, which are all across, architect, as he designs, he needs to go review, understand the complete process to bring that design in that understanding to the design. At some point of time, that could be one of the awareness which the architect would have lagged to bring it. So he needs to understand the complete precast process, precast in the how it works from the basic foundation level to the final level, and what sort of finishes he can get. So I could say one thing, that precast finishing you cannot get on site work, which is there. You have to have so much of energy put to give this exposed concrete finish or the textured finish, which if you plan it from better, precast can give it better fact. So it's whichever aspects you look at, you get the best of factory finish thing, and what you do at site, there is a drastic difference which is there. And if you want to do on site work with the factory finish, you have to involve that much of resources. So definitely with the best of finishes, you need to understand the limitations, and also you have to understand advantages of precast. Both together you can come up with the best of solution as an architect.
Yeah. So, Mr. Anand, very rightly said, so many of advantages of precast concrete technology. But I, again, in the same question, I just want to extend it. When you design a precast friendly layout, what things you keep in your mind to make it simple? Again, I just want to make it a bit simple for understanding. Usually people say that when you are want to make a precast friendly layout, it is like kind of a boxes, and then it won't be aesthetical, it won't be like good in terms of architectural looking wise. So what things you keep in mind so that it is get all the benefit of precast, but as well as it is as good as the cast in situ, good aesthetical buildings as well.
Okay, coming to a part when we approach our design, we definitely don't look at it as a box. We look at it as a surfaces, precast surfaces which we will get, and which are external surfaces, internal surfaces. So external surfaces has to look at airtight and other aspects which the external surfaces should have, and then the internal surface are the internal elements which can be more flexible as per design. So we don't look at precast as a box restricted aspects. We look at precast as a surfaces which we get. Of course, the reputations is something which we have to keep in mind, but we don't think that precast only gives you boxes. You start looking at it into a surface sort of viewpoint, your thought process will change and your approach towards design and accepting precast will be much more easy.
I think now I would say this that is a second cycle or second phase of precast implementation in India. Like from your
Yeah.
thought process, I understand that other architects are also thinking in the same way. So
Mm,
there were a lot of these kind of like box and just implement the precast without not understanding it particularly was making precast failure in India. Like I would say that a lot of precast companies tried to implement precast for their projects in big way,
mm,
but they were not very much successful because they tried to convert cast in situ buildings into precast. They invested in the precast plant without understanding their requirements. So I
mm,
think I would say now people are relatively gain more experience, more knowledge about what kind of investment, what kind of things they should have. And here like I just want to give our services also, like we have a good resources available. We can help if somebody want to start their precast venture. We can help them to make a wise investment with a lesser capital investment and help them making a good precast business.
mm. So
Again, I my next question, Anandji, would be like
yeah.
as you just mentioned that you don't see precast as boxes. Can you give a particular project where you use this precast concrete technology? If you can highlight for our audience and you can tell about the project or the brief about that project.
Okay. So one more thing which I would add before answering this question is because of now the technologies which are available, our consumer, matlab the project who is going to execute the project also understand the BIM aspect, building information modeling, which requires. So when you as a designer start approaching tools which will help you to design something which is better and connects it to the end person who is going to execute it, there is a complete connection in technology which makes things much more easier and acceptable. Earlier you used to make 2D drawings which are there, then converting, then it going to the executor. So now we have this thread, which is the tool of software which connects everything and makes it much more streamlined, and that would make it much more easier to be implemented. That's one thing which at the design level also which is available, and at the execution level which is available. So so the projects which I would put forward, of course we have been working all across world, from Africa to New Zealand, would like to the harsh climate of Nunavut, which is the northern part of Canada. I would like to put forward that there was a unique requirement of having the U value of the heat transfer, which is required to a level of R40 and R60. That's a huge requirement. And that's where the precast durability and the insulation, which could be made in the factory and put at that location, makes it much more durable, assured without leakages, and that's where the precast factory made finishes could give you a better solution. When we look at precast, and when we look at precast projects which we are doing at this point of time, looks gives us an opportunity to give client the best of finishes, durability, and the cost effectiveness. and that's where a lot of shift of our projects from on-site contracting to a precast factory finish systems makes it much more. So these are the three advantages which we have found, which we believed it into, and now the customers whom we are working with have found in that they are durable, they have better finishes, and when we look at the scale, they make them cost effective.
Yes. Yeah. So from like when I was doing research about you, I could see that you have done cast in situ, you have done composite structure, you have done 2D precast, and
Yes.
the project you just gave a brief about in Canada, it was in
Yeah.
3D modular precast. So
Yes.
I can say that you have done from literally from brick and concrete to the literally batch car or automobile kind of factory where you make everything and just shift there and ready to move. So
True.
in India, at least, I have not seen 3D precast very much. Can you again give your thought about 3D precast?
Yes, yes. So 3D precast is something which is really a exciting place to be. That's the next step for precast industry from 2D to 3D, where you have the walls, the roofs combined into one, and then it reduces your time, reduces the time of construction to bare minimum. So that's where we have worked into projects in Auckland, in New Zealand, which is there, the Auckland city. I give you an example of the North Canada, the extreme climates where you have metal construction and it has a lot of issues in that part of the country. And that's where this 3D precast is something which is doable. And one more in the Canadian part, which is in the Montreal city, which is there. So it was one around in all places. Nunavut, which is where the quantity was low, which is 150 units. But then Auckland and Montreal, there was somewhere around 150, 1,500 precast, pre-finished volumetric construction, which is in short called PPVC technology, which is to be used to construct the houses. Where one of the huge benefits of this sort of construction is it reduces your carbon footprint, the carbon footprint minimum by 50%, because everything is done in a controlled, manageable location, and then it is transported to the site and where the construct. So your cement, which creates cement, sand, and other materials which are there in open, it's completely reduced. That's on the technical front. But then the scale of conversion of the project, your scale of conversion of the project is drastically fast. And of course, in
So
that
as per my
also
knowledge, yeah, sorry to interrupt you. As per my knowledge, this is a complete master plan layout also, like complete township development for
yeah, yeah,
both of these
actually,
Auckland and Canadian project. So
yeah,
both are two different, completely geoclimatical different locations,
yeah,
and to set up a 3D modular construction for two different things, it is like quite amazing project and quite interesting development. So like
yeah.
I just would give you appreciation for that. So I assume that you have a team of good and smart people who do all these kind of brainstorming, developing. It's not just
Yes.
copy paste thing. It is just quite thought process behind that.
Yeah. So just to thanks for that appreciation. Of course, it's not an individual job. It's the team which makes things possible. Yeah. So a person who looks at the construction and the master plan. So for an example, the something in New Zealand which we are doing is around 0.75 square kilometers of space, which is there. Where the urban lifestyle, that's also really important, which has to be planned. And then this has multi-dwelling unit systems which are there. It's the bungalow types, and then the villas which will be coming, semi level buildings which are there, which are ground plus three, and then the multi-story building. We have tried to combine the modularity together and give a different look to all the buildings which are there. And that's where we have used 3D precast, minimum mold systems which were there, and then make them into a bungalow, a dwelling unit which is there in a complete high-rise building. So we have tried to have use the modularity and create customization at that level.
Anandji, I can talk to you for 24 hours also, but
Yeah.
we are running out of time. I just
Yes.
have two more questions because we have to respect the timeline also. Uh,
True.
like you just mentioned about 3D precast, 2D precast in on a global perspective.
Yeah.
But right now in India, we like as you mentioned that we are so much of opportunity, so much of development is going on. But still, I would say that we are not using even 2% of total construction precast technology. So how do you see the difference? Like in India, we are not using the technology, but in Gulf, in Europe, and they are already reached onto 3D precast. They are already doing this printed buildings. So how do you see what is the why we are lacking behind?
At some point of time, when we look at 3D precast, I do feel when a 3D precast building is completely ready, you feel you can make out that it's or a precast building which has come. People have a fear that this wouldn't look aesthetically good. That's the fear which people feel like. That's what I understand when we approach to a client. They would say that नहीं यार वो अच्छा नहीं दिखेगा वो बॉक्स जैसा, but then you come up with a design. That's where the confidence to the people who are in India also will feel that okay, no, 3D 2D or 3D, whichever the precast system we look at, the aesthetics are not compromised. That's a wrong notion which people have, that okay, we will be compromising on certain aspects of design. That's not there. You need to create a modularity, but modularity doesn't mean a mundane structure. Modularity is also interesting, and you can come out with multiple options of how your building will look like. And that's
I
where
think
that's the
I think
misconception which India.
this. I think in India, especially about the buildings or the builders community, they are more concerned about the cost. Rather, I'm sure the quality aesthetically it comes later for them because I am also from the same industry, and when we were approaching them, always they are asking how much per square feet it is going to be. So I think they should consider everything in toto rather than just like okay,
So
technology investment that much, all these things. So how like as an architect, as you say that we try to make them educate. So how do you approach them like to convince them for the technology? Just not about precast, but any new technology, any new things.
Definitely there is a bit of more exercise which has to be done because it's much more technical. The people like you who can like Stu engineers where we have looked at, they educate customers in the technological front. They make that sound easy. And that's a compliment to you and your team, which makes it simple, make them understand the pros and cons. And it's the technology adoption is simple, but then it has to be planned rightly. People feel that okay, can it be done? And that's where they fall short. They have to say that we need to. So whenever there is a huge construction, there is a workers town plan area which is there. There is also all the areas are there, but then if they are not planned rightly, it would be a chaos. At the same point of time, in precast also there will be a casting area. Everything is planned, and it's the same thing, but then it has to be put forward in a right way to people that it's not that it's difficult, it's simple. And then all the tools which you have to make them possible, and that's where it is coming up. It's not that it's not coming up in India, but it has been taking time in early 2000s or 2010s which are there. Now I do think it's the time where if people are not adopting it, they are going to miss out. And that's where I would recommend that you need to have team with you who understands what they are going into. And that's where I would say that true engineers have that technology and efficiency to explain things. And that's where I look forward to you people making things simpler for you. As a designer, we have understood that there is nothing which in precast you cannot do.
Anandji, that was the purpose of this podcast also. series to bring knowledgeable people from this industry so that they can share their views about this thing. Like you are one of the first person as a guest on this dais. So my last question from you, like what will be your suggestions? Somebody, if somebody is having a big decent sized project, what will be your suggestion to that client that they should go for a technology and how they should proceed or how should they should approach for the technology so that it will be like business case for them also. Like we know that any builder or any company, they first see their profit, so it should make a profit for the for the builder, but as at the same time it should not lag behind that we were supposed to do the project in 2 years, now it is for 4 years. So how do you try to convince, or what is your suggestion, even what is your suggestion for your architect friends also?
So I would say first to the, of course, everyone is here to make profit. Okay, and this, if you have certain decent size construction, for an example, if I could put forward, if you have 2 lakh square feet of construction which is going to happen, and if you plan it rightly, your precast buildings will be cheaper. Okay, in India, if you look at, if it goes to 4 and 4.5 lakh square feet of build-up, definitely you should adopt precast as a system. That's the thumb rule which is there. And then, of course, whenever you go into detail of understanding, you need to have a right team which would make you understand the right comparison. You setting up. For an example, now you don't have you have RMC trucks coming and pouring concrete. Earlier, you were doing it at your place because you found that value. You had a team to calculate it and do it in precise time. So precast also, when you look at it, you need to have right people comparing it for you. You cannot say that this sort of construction took this much, let's calculate. But I'm just giving you a benchmark. 2 lakh square feet, you can, if you have a right design, you can make it cost effective. If you have 4.5 lakh to 5 lakh square feet of build up, definitely you should go for precast. It would be definitely cheaper and you will make more profit. But then there needs to be a team who can calculate it for you.
Yeah. So on that note, I would like to thank you, Mr. Anand, for your deep knowledge, sharing your experiences. And again, like in India, we talk about references from China has done like 10-story building in 1 hour. Canada has done this much. They have done so many things, but we never thought to implement by ourselves. We never think what kind of resources, what kind of synergy we already have in our country in India. We are not lagging behind anywhere, but we just need to think, we need to make smart decisions. And here we are to help you. If you are looking to set up a precast plant from 2 lakh square feet annual production to 2 million square feet annual production, we can really help you. We can help you to make 15 to 20% of lesser investment. We can really guide you to hire good resources. We can create a SOPs. We can really help you to make a good architectural layout with the help of Sahyog Design. Then we can really make a BIM technology to help the project to proceed in a right way. कब तक हम लोग 2 साल के प्रोजेक्ट को 5 साल 10 साल तक करते रहेंगे? आई थिंक guys, this is the right time. As Anand ji said that we are having almost 15% of our GDP into construction. So this is the right time to make money as well, but you can't make money for 100 years of technology. Now it's time to go for precast, be it 2D precast, 3D precast. Think about precast, think about our services, and don't forget to listen our future podcast. Maybe in next episode, I would like to take your suggestions, whom you want to listen. It could be a builder, it could be a precast company who is making these precast products. It could be a structural design company. So give us your suggestions in the comment boxes. And to encourage us, you just kindly share, comment, or subscribe our channels. And on this note, I again would like to thank all of you to give a precise interaction on our comment box. And Mr. Anand, again, it would be nice to have you again, maybe on different platform, or if our audience want to want, we could request you for one more episode, because your experience cannot be summarized in 30 minutes of interview. So thank you for your team for doing such a wonderful job. I hope everybody will had enjoy this session, and industry will listen to you and implement precast. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you once again.
Thank,
Yeah.
thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.